day I saw a thread on Twitter of Kaigai Idols discussing vocal care advice. A lot of the people in this thread were talking about how they would lose their voice after every anime convention, and as a voice teacher, that is a red flag. So I thought I would put together this video of vocal care and a vocal care kit for Kaigai Idols and VTubers today. Hello, my name is Martha, the feline siren emerging from the sea to share their songs with the world. I am a Kaigai Idol VTuber and voice coach, and today I'm talking shop. So, quick disclaimer, I am not an ENT, I am not a speech language pathologist. Nothing in this video is medical advice. If something happens, if something feels wrong, please make sure you consult with your medical care team. Thank you. So a lot of the advice in this video comes from my vocal care team, ENT, speech language pathologists, other voice teachers that I have studied under, because even your voice teacher has a voice teacher. So these are things that work for me, and hopefully they can work for you as well. Now, let's go ahead and get started with the basics. A basic piece of knowledge that every singer knows is you must stay hydrated. Number one in your vocal kit is a water bottle, a water vessel of some sort. It is best to keep hydrated throughout the day, however you can. If you need to add flavor, add a flavor packet. If it needs to be cold, drink it cold. If it needs to be warm, drink it warm. However you can stay hydrated, go for it and keep it near you so you can be reminded to drink your water at all times. Now, quick note, a lot of folks will say that caffeine does not count towards your hydration goals because caffeine is a diuretic. Now, it is true that caffeine does have a slight diuretic effect. If you are consuming the FDA recommended maximum of 400 milligrams or less of caffeine per day, then the amount of liquid in these caffeinated beverages highly outweighs the effect of caffeine. Now, here are some caffeine contents of standard morning beverages. For example, a cup of coffee has 95 milligrams of caffeine, a shot of espresso 64 milligrams, black tea 47 milligrams, and matcha 32 milligrams per gram. So at about 2 grams per cup of matcha that you usually make, that's in about another 64 milligrams of caffeine. So if you're just having 1 or 2 of these drinks per day, you are well under the 400 milligram limit or maximum. So if you need your morning beverage to get up and go, that's totally fine, and that can count towards your hydration goals. Just make sure not to exceed that limit and keep some non-caffeinated beverages at hand to keep everything balanced out. I'm gonna drink some water right now. Basic number 2 in your vocal kit. I bet you already have this in your house. Salt. Salt. Now you're like, Martha, why do I need salt in my vocal kit? Well, if you ever wake up with a sore throat, a salt water gargle is probably the cheapest and one of the most effective ways to calm any swelling and pain in your throat. Salt water gargles can help break down bad bacteria that's causing any inflammation, and it can just lower inflammation in general. Highly recommend having some salt if you're traveling. Get you some of them little salt packets. All you need to do is 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces of warm water. Dissolve the salt in the water, gargle for 15 or 30 seconds, spit, and then wait for the magic to happen. Basic number 3, lozenges. Lozenges are a great way if you have a dry mouth or a dry throat to get the salivary glands going and to coat the throat in moisture. Lozenges are your friend. Now, in that Twitter thread, I saw somebody talking about menthol. A note from a speech language pathologist whom I very much respect. Too much menthol or overuse of menthol can dry out your throat. Menthol can have a drying effect, and that is the exact opposite thing you want when you're using lozenges. Also, the numbing effect of menthol can mask symptoms that you have if there's any pain or irritation, and then you could end up injuring yourself singing with a numbed up throat. So if you have a performance or a rehearsal or a long day, I would recommend using non-menthol lozenges That way we are actually getting moisture into your throat and we are not numbing it up either. These are Luden's Wild Cherry. They are a pectin lozenge. Pectin is a humectant. It brings moisture into the tissues. Ingredients I recommend instead of menthol are pectin, like these, glycerin, or slippery elm. All of those things bring moisture into the tissues and soothe a dry throat. So Luden's, this is $1.79 a bag. These are cheap. They also have watermelon and honey lemon if cherry is not your jam, but I like these. And honestly, if you're in a pinch and you don't have lozenges available, get you a peppermint or a sucker, just something to get your salivary glands going, and that can help with dry mouth. But I like these a lot. Highly recommend them. The last thing in my basics section is either a love it or hate it thing, and that is a Neti Pot. I was once a hater of Neti Pots. As a child, I suffered from pretty severe allergies and asthma, and my allergist always recommended a Neti Pot and saline irrigation, and I was like, no, I hate it, it's uncomfortable. But once I started doing it regularly, I really noticed a difference. If you are really congested, if you've got nasal congestion, sinus pain, if you've just got dry nostrils, this guy is gonna come in handy for you. So at home, I've got my ceramic pot and then some saline packets. NeilMed is like the gold standard. I've been using this for years. Again, not sponsored. I bought all this junk with my own money. But mix distilled water. Only use distilled water in your Neti Pot, please. Using tap water can introduce bacteria, can cause irritation, pain, and serious infections in your sinuses. Don't do it. So, distilled water, they have these little ones for travel, or if you don't have distilled water on hand, boil some water for 5 minutes and then let cool to room temperature. That will kill everything. And then take your saline packet, mix it in here. And if you've never used a Neti Pot, there are tutorials, but what you do, you fill it up to the fill line. This is going to be very unglamorous, and you stick it in your nostril, and then you lean so that water goes up through your sinuses and out the other nostril. And so I do about half of that water there, and then you go into the other nostril, and you do it that way. Now, say you're traveling, you're at an anime convention, you don't want to bring this with you. I don't blame you. I don't either, because you have to wash this and clean it after every use. So they have travel size. These are also NeilMed. I like their stuff. So these are like 15 milliliter squeezy pre-mixed sterile saline solution. You just, you take this, twist off the cap, and you squeeze. It's only 15 milliliters, so I use 2 at once. So I use 1 per nostril, and you can squeeze this away and then this away with another one. So saline solution in general is good to have, and we will get to that in a minute. But having your Neti Pot and doing some nasal irrigation is excellent. And there's also, if you don't want the ceramic pot, they've got these little squeezy guys at the back. It's a bottle and you squeeze it to really get everything up in there. There are options. But saline irrigation is your friend, especially in allergy season, and we are right smack in the middle of it. So me and my Neti Pot are in a very loving relationship right now, and I highly recommend it. Part 2, extra lubrication. So we've talked about general hydration of the body. We've talked about clearing congestion, throat irritation, all of that. Very basic stuff, cheap, easy to get a hold of. These things are starting to be a little extra. They're a little more expensive, but they're very nice to have, and they have helped me a lot. So, next level. Now, this next level is all about getting moisture directly onto your vocal cords. Because drinking water's great. Keeping your whole body hydrated is great. But anything you drink never actually touches your vocal cords, because if you tried to shove water down your trachea, you would choke and it would just be a bad time. Anytime something goes down the wrong tube, that's trying to go to your vocal cords, and your body does not like that. So how do we get moisture to the vocal folds? I will tell you. The way to get moisture directly into your vocal cords is to breathe in moist air. That is the only way it's gonna happen. You need moisture particles in the air. So sometimes you'll notice if you're in a more humid area, you'll notice everything starts to feel like real loosey-goosey. Maybe singing some stuff is a little easier than it is when you're in a drier place. It's because you've got that moist air coming into contact with your vocal cords. So here are a few ways to do it from cheapest to most expensive. Starting with stuff you already have in your house: a hot shower and a pot of simmering water. So you notice how everybody loves to sing in the shower. You think you sound really good in the shower, right? Well, you are surrounded by warm, moist air. You're feeling good. The vocal cords are getting moisturized. Your throat muscles are relaxed because of the warmth. You feel good, you sound good, and your voice will thank you. So sometimes if you're just feeling dry and irritated, hop in the shower. Stay there for a few minutes. Breathe that nice moist air and get some moisture in there. Now, next, a pot of simmering water. If you don't have time for a shower, or if it's in the middle of the day, go ahead, get you a pot of water on the stove. Make sure it simmers, don't boil it. Getting it to a rolling boil is dangerous. There can be water splatters that can pop up on your face and burn you. So please exercise caution with this method. So, pot of simmering water, and then that steam coming up from the pot, kind of hover over the pot. Breathe in that moist air, breathe in that steam for a few minutes, and that can help everything moisturize and loosen up. Next up is humidifiers. I love my humidifier. I highly recommend keeping a humidifier in your bedroom and running it overnight, because sometimes, when you're just like conked out, mouth breathing can happen and you'll wake up with a dry mouth and a dry throat. So having a humidifier running in your bedroom, keeping your bedroom air moist overnight can be very helpful so you don't wake up hoarse in the morning. Also, if you are somebody who uses a CPAP machine at night, you have your very own built-in humidifier right there in your medical device, because you pour in your distilled water in your little tank, and that moist air is being shoved into your CPAP machine. So if you've got one of those, you're already set. But for those of you who don't have sleep apnea, go ahead. There are different sizes and capacities of humidifiers at different price points. So find one that works for you, set it up in your bedroom, or if you have a dry working environment like your office or whatever, you can have a little tiny humidifier on your desk. You can aim it at your face and get some moist air going. You can bring a small one to your hotel room at conventions. Just keep that air moist. Next up, this is where we get into the fancy devices, all right? And if I'm looking down, I have notes here because I did quite a bit of writing just to make sure I had these set, because these are some different devices. They each have their own purpose and different things, and I wanted to make sure I gave you the correct information. So, getting moist air to your vocal cords, we have steamers and we have nebulizers. Two different devices putting moist air like directly into your face, nasal passages, in your mouth, down your throat, etc., etc. So we're going to talk about each. We're going to talk about steamers first, then we're going to talk about nebulizers. We'll talk about the differences, and then when you should be using them, or like when the standard usage happens. First, we have steamers. So steamers have a similar mechanism to the hot shower or the pot of water, but it is more directly in your face. I don't have a steamer personally, so I'll just put a picture of one right here. But this is a device. It heats up water, and then you put on the little face mask, and then you shove steam into your system. So steamers thin out mucus if you've got like drainage or mucus congestion in the throat. It can thin out that mucus. hydrate the throat, hydrate the vocal cords, and it decreases hoarseness in the voice. So like if you woke up in the morning, you didn't have your humidifier going and you got a dry, hoarse throat, a steamer can help ease tension with that warm steam and ease any hoarseness that's in the voice. And it can also reduce tension in the vocal tract. If your muscles are tight, again, that warmth can help release the tension in those muscles. Now, make sure you only use purified water in your steamer so you prevent mineral buildup. Mineral buildup, it can gunk up your steamer. You might have to end up replacing it, and you want to have this thing for a good few years. If you are investing in a steamer, you want to keep it clean. So please use purified water in your steamer. And also, after using your steamer, because you are directly putting warm or hot air into your system, make sure you wait 20 to 30 minutes after your steam session to sing. We want everything to cool back down to its normal temperature. We want everything to stabilize so you don't cause yourself injury. So use that steamer, relax everything, and then shut up for a second. And then you can go about your day. Next, we have nebulizers. Now, if you've seen my Uma Musume festival vlog, you will see that I have a nebulizer and I use it. I love it. This has been a game changer for me. I just bought a nebulizer earlier this year. I had been watching Mary Kate's videos, Mary Space Kate. I can put her stuff down below in the description box. She was Elphaba on Broadway in 2024 to 2025, I do believe. And she's been doing more regional theater productions since then, but her vocal health series, ooh, I was set. That was my show. So she talked a lot about nebulizers, and then I looked into them, talked with my doctor, and I thought that it would be an excellent addition to my vocal health routine. And boy, howdy, has it been. It has been an absolute game changer. So how are nebulizers different from steamers? So they both put moist air into your system, but nebulizers break down that liquid into smaller particles that can actually go into your lungs. So with nebulizers, you should only be using 0.9 sterile saline solution. This is a large pack. I've got, I think this was like 100 pack, but it was cheaper per vial to buy the big boy. So I've got these little 5 milliliter things of my 0.9 sterile saline solution. And so you pour that in your nebulizer and then let it go, and it puts everything into this really fine mist. And this is also great for people with asthma. I have had nebulizing treatments over at my allergist's office, you know, when I was being diagnosed with asthma and all that, because it helps you breathe, like chest tightness, congestion in the lungs, like if the mucus there is a little thick, using a nebulizer can help thin it out, break it up. Big thing about nebulizing is that it decreases PTP. PTP stands for phonation threshold pressure. There's your vocabulary word for the day. And so basically PTP is how much effort is needed to start vocal cord vibration, because the vibration and the closure of your vocal cords is what creates sound. And so if there's a lot of effort needed to close those cords and to make that sound, that can cause injury. So making that process easier by thinning out that mucous membrane, getting everything flexible, keeping it lubricated, right? It's like the Tin Man with the oil can in Wizard of Oz. You got to keep those joints lubricated. You got to keep everything lubricated so it's easier for them to move. So another note on nebulizers, because those particles are a lot smaller and they can get into your lungs, you want to make sure that you are cleaning your nebulizer after every use. They do, or at least mine has a self-cleaning option. Let me show you. Ooh! I kept the box. I keep everything in here because it fits. So you've got your nebulizer machine with the tank. Oh, and I have a little saline thing in here. And then it has a few different mouthpieces to where you can put this in your mouth and breathe, or If you want to get your nose involved, you have a mask. You stick the mask on the nebulizer, stick the mask over your face. So use the self-cleaning function and then use distilled water to clean the tank, clean the little mesh thing here, and keep it sterilized. That way, bacteria doesn't grow and you won't get a nasty infection in your lungs. Cleanliness is important here. So now we know what steamers and nebulizers are, when to use them. So I would recommend steaming when you feel hoarse or your voice feels rough, you've got extra tension in your throat. Those would be my criteria. And honestly, I think they're great for after performing to relax everything. You've just used a lot of those muscles. It's like taking a hot bath after, going to the gym or doing an intense workout. You're soothing those muscles. That would be my recommendation. Or in the morning if you're feeling hoarse, and then giving yourself those 30 minutes to be quiet. I would recommend nebulizing when your voice seems to have a harder time starting up, things feel like they need more effort than they usually do before performances to keep everything limber, and before singing higher effort material. If there are things that are harder for you to do, for example, belting. If you've got to do a lot of belting, a nebulizer is gonna help decrease that PTP and make your job easier. Since it's room temperature mist, you don't need to shut up for 30 minutes afterwards. So if it's right before a performance or in the middle of a performance, you can nebulize and go. So those are my recommendations, but like I said at the beginning of the video, talk to your vocal care team, your medical team, and experiment. See what works for you. I have found my own process, and using some of these tips, you can find your own process. Lastly, a note on electrolytes. Electrolyte beverages have become very, very popular in recent years. I keep getting ads for electrolytes everywhere. Now, if you are, say, on Broadway doing 8 shows a week, if you are touring constantly, if you are just sweating buckets, yeah, electrolyte beverages are a great way to get more hydration and keep everything balanced. But the overwhelming majority of people can get their electrolytes through food. Honestly, for Kaigai Idols and VTubers, for those of us who, are either streaming from our desks or, just doing a anime convention performance here and there, we are not the kind of insane athletes that need constant electrolytes. Now, one way to tell if you need electrolytes, and this is not glamorous, I'm sorry, is by checking your urine. This is how my doctor taught me to do it, and I am telling you. So, your urine should be a light lemonade yellow color. If your urine is dark, that means you are dehydrated and you should drink more fluids. If your urine is clear, then that means you've drank so much that your electrolytes are out of balance. Then you should grab your favorite electrolyte beverage. For the overwhelming majority of us, a regular Gatorade or Powerade will work. Liquid IVs and stuff are expensive. We don't need to buy the most expensive stuff. But again, if your pee is clear, if you've been doing a really good job at hydrating and you haven't been eating enough salt or minerals, grab your favorite electrolyte beverage and keep it on hand. It's nice to have at anime conventions, but honestly, regular water is gonna do the trick most of the time. Obviously, that is not everything. That is not all the vocal care things, but I think this is a good start and a good bit of information for y'all to chew on. Let me know in the comments below what you're already doing, what was new to you, and if you have any questions, please, there are no stupid questions. Feel free to ask. I am always happy to talk shop and answer vocal health related questions. And if I don't know the answer, I will find somebody who does and then give you those resources. If you are a Kaigai Idol or a VTuber and you want to know more about singing, I do have a Discord server with an idol specific section. We talk about singing practices, resources. I will post things that I think are nifty and informative. So if you want to join, link to that is in the description box below. I am always open to questions, and if you are interested in voice lessons, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram or Discord. I do have a couple of spots left in my voice studio if you want to go ahead and snag one. If not, please, again, always ask questions. I am happy to help. And I did want to do an interest check. Would anybody here be interested in group master classes? These would be online master classes where some people would sign up to sing and others would sign up to observe. This is similar to what I did in music school back in college. Every week, all of the vocalists would come and sit in the auditorium. And everybody would be picked at random to sing and work through a song that was in our repertoire. And we would learn by either taking notes and watching the other students on stage or actually singing and getting coached through our songs. If that is something you would be interested in, let me know in the comments and I can get the ball rolling on that, because I know not everybody can afford one-on-one lessons, and I would love to expand vocal technique knowledge as far as I can within the idol and VTuber sphere, because I know there's some people who love singing, but they just want to learn how to play their instrument better. All right, friends, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in my next video. Have a great day, folks. Bye-bye.